Chapter 1. Why Money Feels Hard and Why It Doesn't Have to Be. Let me start with a question. Why do we make money so complicated? Why does something that touches every part of our lives, where we live, what we eat, who we spend time with, how free we feel, also make us feel so overwhelmed, ashamed, or stuck? Think about it. We go to school for years. We memorize history dates, math formulas, plant cell diagrams, but no one teaches us how to file taxes. No one explains how a credit score works. No one tells us how to save, invest, or build wealth without losing our minds, so we're left to figure it out ourselves. From TikTok money gurus, from random advice, from people who might not even have it figured out either, and as a result, we stress, we delay, we tell ourselves, I'm just not good with money. But what if that's not true? What if you were never taught the right system, and now you finally will be? This book, this journey, is not about depriving yourself. It's not about budgeting down to the last penny, or cutting out lattes. It's about something way more powerful. It's about building a life where money is no longer a source of stress, but a source of confidence, freedom, and joy. This is your guide to mastering money without burnout, to saving automatically, spending intentionally, investing wisely, and creating a life that feels rich, not just in dollars but in meaning. And no, you don't need to be rich to start. You just need a plan. You need the right steps, in the right order, delivered in a way that's clear, real, and most of all, doable. So if you've ever said, I wish someone would just tell me what to do with my money, this is that moment. I'm not here to overwhelm you. I'm here to walk with you, chapter by chapter, through a simple system that works. You don't need perfection. You don't need to obsess. You just need to begin. So take a breath, shake off the guilt, and get ready. Because this is the start of your rich life, and I'm going to show you how to build it. One smart, bold, confident step at a time. Let's make you wealthy. Chapter 2. Turn Plastic into Power. Hello everyone, let me ask you something kind of bold. What if I told you that your credit card, the thing you probably associate with stress, debt, or regret, could actually help make you wealthy? No, seriously, stick with me. Because here's the truth. Credit cards are not the enemy. They are a tool. And like any tool, they can be dangerous if you don't know how to use them, but incredibly powerful when you do. Now, most people never get taught how to use a credit card the right way. We don't learn this stuff in school. Our parents? Often just as lost. And the internet? A confusing mess of hacks, fear tactics, and cut-out lattes advice. But I want to flip that script. Because credit cards, when used correctly, can make you money, boost your credit score, and unlock things like free travel, cash back, and built-in insurance that most people don't even know exists. Let's start with the hard truth. If you're carrying credit card debt right now, that's job number one. Nothing else matters until you handle that. Because these interest rates? Brutal. You're not just paying more, you're slowing down your entire financial future. So we tackle that first, head on. But once you're clear of that debt, now we play a completely different game. See, most people pick their credit cards the same way they pick their favorite pizza topping. Randomly, or because their friend told them to. But the difference between the right card and the wrong card, it can be hundreds, even thousands of dollars in rewards every year. And you don't even have to change your spending habits to get it. Start with a no-fee rewards card, cash back, travel points, purchase protection, extended warranties. Let your spending work for you. But here's the non-negotiable rule. Pay your bill on time and in full, every single month. Set up autopay and forget about it. Don't carry a balance. Don't play games. That's how you stay in control. If you're someone who worries about overspending, great, start simple. Use your card only for fixed expenses. Netflix, your gym, gas. You'll earn rewards and build credit without the risk of impulse shopping. And speaking of rewards, did you know your credit card might offer free rental car insurance, extended warranties on electronics, travel insurance, fraud protection, airport lounge access? Most people don't take advantage of any of these because they've never taken 10 minutes to read their benefits guide. But you, after today, you're gonna check. Let's talk about credit scores for a second. Your credit score isn't just a number, it's a passport. It determines your mortgage rate, your car insurance premium, even your ability to rent an apartment. And guess what? Your credit card, used right, is the key to building that score. The two biggest things? Pay on time. Keep your credit utilization low. That's the amount of credit you're using. So here's a pro move. If your utilization's high, call your credit card company and ask for a credit limit increase. Seriously. Just say, "Hi, I'd like to request a credit limit increase based on my positive payment history." Boom. More available credit, better utilization ratio, higher credit score. All without spending a penny more. And finally, one of my favorite little known facts, you can negotiate with your credit card company. Interest rate too high? Call them. Fee charged? Call them. Here's a simple script that works surprisingly well. "Hi, I've been a customer for X years. I always pay on time. I'd like to request a lower interest rate." If they say no, ask to speak to a supervisor. You'll be shocked what happens when you just ask. So let's wrap this up. Credit cards aren't evil. They're not out to get you. They are a tool, a powerful one. But like any tool, they require a plan. So get your card set to autopay. Use it for expenses you already have. Earn those rewards. Use those hidden perks. Build your credit score. And don't be afraid to pick up the phone and negotiate. Because the difference between falling into credit card traps and using them to build a life of freedom isn't luck, it's knowledge. And now, you've got it. Chapter 3. Stop letting your bank rip you off. Now let's talk about something we all deal with, but hardly ever challenge. Banks. You know, the places that promise to help you grow your money while quietly siphoning off little fees, one after another, like financial mosquitoes. Let's get real here. Banks are not in business to help you, they're in business to profit off you. And the way they do it isn't by doing anything extraordinary. They just count on one simple thing, that you're too busy, too overwhelmed, or too tired to notice what they're taking. You ever open your statement and see a $12 maintenance fee, a $3 ATM usage fee, $35 for going $1 over your balance? It's death by 1,000 cuts. And the worst part? We let it happen. Because we think switching banks is too much of a hassle. But today, that stops. Today, we fight back. Here's the deal. If your bank is charging you a monthly fee for your checking account, or giving you next to nothing in interest on your savings, you're losing money. Plain and simple. But switching banks? It's not hard. It's not scary. And it can literally save you hundreds, sometimes thousands, every year. Here's what to do. First, look for a no-fee, high-interest online bank. Yes, online. These banks don't have expensive branches, so they pass the savings on to you in the form of zero fees and way better interest. Names like Ally, Capital One 360, SoFi. Reliable, safe, efficient. Look for three things: no monthly fees, free ATMs or ATM reimbursements. A solid interest rate for your savings account. That's it. If your bank is charging you for basic things like transferring money or issuing a debit card, run fast. Now, when you open your new account, don't panic. Transferring your money is easier than you think. Set up your new account. Redirect your direct deposit. Update your automatic payments, like Netflix, your phone bill, or your gym membership. Do it piece by piece. And once it's done, break up with your old bank. Call them. Close the account. Ask for written confirmation. Don't just drain the balance and walk away. Banks have a funny way of leaving ghost accounts open with a few cents and hitting you with surprise fees later. Now let's talk about savings. Saving doesn't have to be painful. You don't need more willpower. You need a system. Here's a trick that works like magic. Create separate savings accounts for different goals. One for your next trip. One for your emergency fund. One for your dream laptop or car. Give each one a name. Label it like a mission. Paris 2025. New car. Freedom Fund. When your money has a name, it has a purpose, and saving becomes real. Then, set up automatic transfers. Every payday, money flows into those accounts, without you lifting a finger. Even if it's just $20 a week, even if it's just $5. Small amounts, consistently saved, will do more for you than big amounts saved once and never again. That's the power of automation. And hey, if your bank charges you a ridiculous fee, fight back. Pick up the phone and say this: "Hi, I noticed a $35 overdraft fee on my account. I've been a customer for 3 years and I keep my account in good standing. I'd like to have that fee waived." Be polite. Be direct. And if they say no, ask for a supervisor. You'd be shocked how often they say yes, just because you asked. Look, banks count on your silence, but silence costs money. You have the right to ask questions, to demand better, to move your money where it works for you. So here's your new system, a no-fee checking account. High-interest savings accounts with automatic transfers, multiple savings goals with names that excite you, and a willingness to call and say, "That fee? No thank you." And finally, add a buffer. Keep 1 week's worth of expenses in your checking account at all times. Why? Because life happens, and a buffer protects you from late fees, bounce payments, and that awful feeling of being one step behind. Let me leave you with this. Banks profit from your inaction, but a few small moves today will put you in control for life. You'll never have to stress about surprise fees. You'll never wonder if you can afford it, because you'll know your system is running, your money is working, and you're in charge. So go ahead, beat the banks. Chapter 4. Build wealth before you think you're ready. Alright, so we've tackled credit cards. We've taken back our power from the banks. Now it's time for the big one. The game changer. The move that separates the "I hope I'll be okay someday" from the "I know I'm building wealth every single month." Ready? It's time to talk about investing. And listen, before you panic, before your eyes glaze over with visions of stock charts and CNBC tickers and guys yelling, "Buy, sell," take a deep breath. Because investing? It is not complicated. It is not reserved for finance bros or the ultra-wealthy. It's actually beautifully simple. Investing is the single most powerful way to build wealth in your lifetime. And the earlier you start, the bigger the impact. So why are so many people scared of it? Because nobody ever explained it clearly. We think we need to be experts, or rich, or glued to the market. But I'm here to tell you, you don't need a finance degree. You don't need a lot of money. And you don't need to pick the perfect stock. What you need is a plan. Let's start with the easiest win in all of personal finance, your 401k. If your employer offers one, get on it. This is free money, people. A 401k lets you invest money before taxes. Even better, your employer might match what you put in, like a bonus just for showing up. Think about that. If your boss said, "Hey, I'll give you an extra $3,000 this year," would you say no? Because if you're not taking full advantage of that match, that's exactly what you're doing. So, step 1, contribute enough to get the full match, at a minimum. Then, when you're ready for the next level, open a Roth IRA. This is where investing starts to feel like magic. You put in post-tax money, it grows. And when you retire, you withdraw it, tax-free. Let me say that again. Every dollar your Roth IRA earns is yours. All of it. Forever. That's why it's one of the most powerful tools in the financial world, and most people ignore it. But not you, not anymore. Okay, now you're thinking, what do I actually invest in? Answer, index funds, not stocks, not trends, not your friend's hot tip. Index funds are low cost, low maintenance, and high performing over time. They track the whole market, they're diversified, and they beat almost every active investor out there. It's like betting on the entire economy instead of one company. Simple, smart, proven. Next up, asset allocation. That's a fancy term for how much goes into stocks, how much into bonds. Here's an easy rule of thumb. The younger you are, the more you should lean into stocks. Why? Because you've got time. And time smooths out risk. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, maybe go 90% stocks, 10% bonds. Closer to retirement, you dial it back. The key? Set it and forget it. Use a target date fund if you want the whole thing done for you. Now here's where most people fall apart. They say, "I'll invest when I have more money," or "I just need to learn a little more first," and they wait. But the number one ingredient in building wealth is not knowledge, it's time. Time is what makes compound growth explode. So even if you start with $50 a month, start now. Because later robs you of years of growth, and growth is the name of the game. Let me share something powerful with you. If you had invested $10,000 in an index fund in 1990 and left it alone, you'd have over $150,000 today. But if you missed just the 10 best days in the market, you'd have made nearly half as much. Think about that. Trying to time the market is gambling. Staying in the market is wealth. One more trick? Automate your investments. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account into your Roth IRA or brokerage every month. No decision fatigue, no forgetting, no I'll do it next week. Just wealth, building itself in the background. So let me sum this up. Start with your 401k. Get the full match. Open a Roth IRA. Set it to auto-invest in index funds. Pick a smart asset allocation. Don't obsess over it. Automate everything. And then live your life. Don't check your account every day. Don't chase the headlines. Just keep investing. Consistently, quietly, confidently. Because the boring investor is the wealthy investor. This is not about becoming a millionaire overnight. This is about becoming a millionaire slowly, steadily, and surely. And you don't need to be rich to start investing. Investing is how regular people become rich. And you? You just took the first step. Chapter 5. Spend on what you love, cut the rest. Okay, let's talk about spending. Not saving, not investing, just spending. Because for most people, spending money feels like a guilty secret. We think if we're not budgeting down to the penny, if we're not cutting every coffee or skipping every dinner out, we're doing it wrong. But I want to tell you something that might surprise you. You don't have to feel guilty about spending money. In fact, the goal of money is to spend it. You didn't work this hard just to hoard it or feel stressed every time you pull out your card. But here's the key. You have to spend consciously. See, most people don't have a spending plan. They have a spending pattern. One they never chose. One that just happened. Money comes in, bills go out. And whatever's left gets spent. A little here, a little there, until it's gone. And then, we wonder where it all went. Sound familiar? Yeah, you're not alone. That's why I want to introduce you to something I call the conscious spending plan. Not a budget. Not a spreadsheet full of numbers that make you feel bad. A plan that tells your money where to go before it disappears. Here's how it works. Every dollar you earn gets divided into 4 simple buckets. Fixed costs, rent, bills, groceries, the essentials. Investments, 401k, Roth IRA, whatever you're using to grow wealth. Savings goals, travel, emergency fund, new car, you name it. Guilt-free spending. Yes, you heard that right. Fun money. Let's break that down with real numbers. Say you bring home $4,000 a month. $2,000 might go to fixed costs, rent, bills, food. $400 to investments, $300 to savings goals, and $1,000, yours, to spend, guilt-free, on anything that makes you happy. Think about that for a second. Imagine knowing your bills are covered, your future is handled, your goals are funded, and you still have $1,000 to blow on dinners, clothes, concerts, your dog's Halloween costume. Whatever you love, that's conscious spending. It's not about cutting out lattes. It's about deciding what matters to you and spending more on that, not less. Let me ask you, what lights you up? Is it weekend getaways? Tech gadgets? Live music? Designer clothes? Great! Spend lavishly on that. But here's the flip side. Be brutal about cutting things you don't care about. Still paying for 5 streaming services? Cancel 3. Never use your gym membership? Ditch it. Spending $400 a month on takeout you don't even enjoy? Reevaluate. Conscious spending means making room for the things that matter by eliminating the things that don't. Now let's talk psychology for a second. Most people feel like they're bad with money. They feel anxious, overwhelmed, guilty. They avoid checking their account. But when you have a system, when your money flows exactly where it should, automatically you get peace of mind. You stop wondering, can I afford this? Because you already know. And automation? That's your secret weapon. Your paycheck hits. Then, boom, bills get paid. Savings get funded. Investments get invested. And your fun money lands right where it belongs. No more second guessing. No more spreadsheets. Just a system that works in the background while you live your life. Here's what's wild. Most people obsess over saving $3 on coffee. But the real gains come from a few big wins. Negotiating your salary. Lowering your rent or bills. Investing early. Automating your system. Big wins greater than tiny sacrifices. Every time. So let me leave you with this. You don't need to deprive yourself to be good with money. You need a system. One that aligns with your values. One that makes space for joy. That's what conscious spending is, not about saying no to everything, but about saying yes to the right things. Because the point of money isn't just to save it, it's to live a rich life, your rich life, on your terms. Chapter 6. Make money moves without thinking about it. So you've started spending consciously, you've got a plan, you've taken control. Now, let me show you how to take it even further. How to create a system so good, so automatic, that you start building wealth in your sleep. Literally. Because here's the truth most people never tell you. Willpower is not a strategy. You can't rely on motivation to save money. You can't expect to just be more disciplined next month. It doesn't work. For anyone. You don't need more willpower. You need a system, one that runs itself, one that works in the background, one that builds your wealth while you live your life. So how do you do that? 2 words, automatic saving. Let me break it down for you. Step by step. Flying money. Step 1. Your checking account is the hub. This is your home base. Your paycheck lands here. It's where everything begins. Now, the magic starts the day after payday, because that's when your system kicks in. Your bills? Paid automatically. Your investments? Sent off to your Roth IRA or 401k. Your savings? Divided into labeled accounts. Travel, emergency, that dream car. And then, whatever's left is yours to spend freely. No guilt, no guesswork. Repeat button. Step 2. Set and forget. Look, if you're still paying bills manually, you're wasting time and putting yourself at risk. Because life gets busy. You forget a due date. Suddenly, it's a late fee. But when it's automated, everything gets handled. No more missed payments, no more stress, just smooth, silent efficiency. Sparkles. Step 3. Name your goals. Don't just save money, that's vague. Save for something. Bali trip. New laptop. Freedom fund. Label your savings accounts like dreams, because that's what they are. And then automate transfers into each one, even if it's just $20 a week. That adds up. You'll be shocked how fast those numbers grow when you're not thinking about them. Now let's talk about investing. If your employer already auto-deposits into your 401k, amazing. Keep it going. But if you've got a Roth IRA or brokerage account, set up recurring transfers. $100 every 2 weeks. $50 a month. Whatever you can start with. It's not about how much, it's about consistency. Because once it's on autopilot, your wealth starts growing without you lifting a finger. And here's something that'll blow your mind. This simple system, this boring little automation, protects you from your biggest financial threat. You on a bad day. You when you're stressed. You when you're tempted to skip that transfer just this once. Automation takes emotion out of the equation. And that's what builds real, lasting wealth. Now, let's level up one more time. Ever heard of a buffer? It's a tiny cushion in your checking account, maybe a week's worth of expenses. Why? Because unexpected stuff happens. Bills shift. Life throws a curveball, and your buffer catches it, so your system keeps running. No overdrafts, no panic, just peace. Another pro tip? Create an invisible savings account. One you don't see in your daily banking app. Use it for your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses quietly building in the background. Out of sight, out of temptation. And one day, when life throws you something unexpected, you'll be ready and calm. And finally, let your system grow with you. When you get a raise, don't just upgrade your lifestyle. Upgrade your automation. Set up a rule. Every time your income goes up, so do your savings and investments. By 5%, by 10%, by whatever feels right. Because that's how you avoid lifestyle creep. And that's how you accelerate wealth. Here's what I want you to take away. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to automate. Because once you do, you'll never miss a payment. You'll never forget to save. You'll never have to ask, am I doing enough? You'll be building wealth while you sleep. And that, my friends, that is how you win the money game. Not through hustle. Not through spreadsheets. Not through guilt. But through systems that support the life you want to live. Chapter 7. You do not need to be a money genius. Let me tell you about one of the most damaging lies in personal finance. It's subtle. It's everywhere. And it sounds like this. I'm not good with money. I don't understand investing. I'll figure it out later, once I know more. Sound familiar? Yeah. It's the myth of financial expertise. We've been taught that money is complicated, that investing is some mystical world of stock picking and technical jargon, that only the experts, the guys in suits, watching charts and talking in acronyms, can really succeed. And so we hesitate. We wait. We tell ourselves we're not ready. But today, we let that myth go. Because the truth is this: you do not need to be an expert to build real wealth. You need a plan. You need consistency. And most of all, you need to ignore the noise. Let me tell you something crazy. Most professional investors, the ones who do this full time, don't beat the market. Not just some of them. Most of them. They try to time it. They chase trends. They make predictions based on feelings and hype. And still, over time, they lose to something much simpler. Right finger. A basic, boring, low-cost index fund. Yes, the least flashy option in the room wins. So what does that mean for you? It means this. You don't need to guess the next big stock. You don't need to read finance blogs or check the market every day. You don't need to become the money person. You need a simple system that works. And I'll give it to you. Put money into a 401k or Roth IRA. Choose low-cost index funds. Automate your contributions. And let it grow. That's it. Now some of you are thinking, shouldn't I hire a financial advisor? Maybe, but probably not right now. If your finances are straightforward, a paycheck, some bills, a savings goal, you don't need to pay someone thousands to tell you what you already know. If you do bring in an advisor down the line, look for a fee-only one. Not someone who earns commissions on your decisions. Why? Because the second someone profits off how you invest, their advice changes. And we're not here for bias. We're here for clarity. Now let's address the elephant in the room. But what if the market crashes? Great question. It will. Markets go up, markets go down. It's what they do. But here's the catch. The people who panic and pull their money out, they lose. The people who stay in, they win. In 2008, during the financial crisis, the market tanked nearly 40%. People sold in fear. But the ones who stayed invested? They saw it all come back. And then some. That's the game. Not timing it. Not reacting to the news. Just staying in long enough to let time do the heavy lifting. One of the best ways to avoid panic? Automate your investments. When money goes in consistently, month after month, you're buying during the highs and the lows. It's called dollar cost averaging, and it's one of the smartest moves you can make. Why? Because it removes emotion from your strategy. And emotion is the enemy of good investing. Let's talk asset allocation real quick. How you split your money between stocks and bonds. Here's a simple rule. 100 minus your age equals percent in stocks. If you're 30, that's 70% in stocks, 30% in bonds. Young? Lean into stocks. They grow more. Older? Add bonds for safety. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Let me say this as clearly as I can. The most successful investors are not the smartest. They are the most consistent. They don't obsess over the headlines. They don't jump in and out. They automate, they ignore the noise, and they let time and compound growth do the rest. So here's your takeaway. You don't need to be a financial genius. You don't need to study charts or chase trends. You don't need to wait for the perfect time. You need a system. One that's simple. One that's automatic. One that builds your wealth quietly in the background while you live your life. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't reserved for the experts. It's reserved for the people who start early, stay consistent, and trust the process. And you're already on the path. Chapter 8. Start small. Build big. Let me ask you something. Have you ever thought, I'll start investing when I make more money? Or maybe, investing sounds great, but I'm not rich. I don't have thousands of dollars sitting around. I'll figure it out later. I get it. We've been sold this story that investing is for people over there. The ones in suits. The ones with money to burn. The ones already ahead. But today, I want you to hear me loud and clear. You don't need to be rich to invest. Investing is how you become rich. Let's flip the script. Because the biggest mistake people make, by far, is waiting. They wait until they're earning more. Until they've paid off every debt. Until they've read more, learned more, felt more ready. But here's the reality. The earlier you start, the more your money grows. Even if you're only investing $50 a month. Let me give you an example. If you invest $100 a month starting at age 25, you could have over $250,000 by retirement. But if you wait until 35, that number gets cut nearly in half. Time is the multiplier. Not how much you start with, not how smart you are, just time. And here's the best part. You can start with almost nothing. There are platforms today that let you invest with as little as $1. You don't need a finance degree. You don't need Wall Street knowledge. You just need to start. So where do you begin? Same simple steps. Contribute to your 401k and get the full employer match. That's free money. Open a Roth IRA and set up automatic contributions. Invest in low-cost index funds. They track the entire market with minimal risk and maximum growth. That's it. That's the playbook. Now let's kill another myth. I have to watch the market, time it right, buy low, sell high. Nope. You don't. You're not a day trader. You don't need to be. You're not trying to get rich quick. You're trying to get rich forever. And you do that by investing consistently, no matter what's happening in the market. Let me tell you about dollar cost averaging. It's a fancy term for a very simple idea. Invest the same amount every month, no matter what. When prices are low, you buy more shares. When prices are high, you buy fewer. Over time, it balances out. And you grow steadily, without stress. It's one of the most effective, least risky ways to build wealth, and all it takes is setting up automation once. Now, some of you still might be thinking, but I don't even know what to cut from my spending to make this happen. Let me be real with you. Most people don't need to find extra money. They need to stop wasting money on things they don't value. You don't have to stop enjoying life. But maybe you don't need 5 streaming services. Maybe you can cook twice a week instead of ordering out every day. Maybe you cancel that gym membership you haven't used in 6 months. The money is already there. It just needs a new job. And here's what's truly exciting. Once you've built that habit, once your system is running, you don't have to constantly monitor it. You don't have to stress. You just live your life while your money works in the background. You want to know the secret difference between people who build wealth and people who don't? It's not income. It's not intelligence. It's starting and sticking with it. The rich don't get rich because they're special. They get rich because they started early and they never stopped. And you can do that too. So forget the myth that investing is only for those people. Forget the lie that you need to be rich to get started. You are already ready. You have the tools. You have the system. And now, you have the mindset. So start today. Start small. Start now. Because the sooner you do, the sooner your future self will look back and say, that was the moment everything changed. Chapter 9. Wealth on Autopilot. So here we are. You've automated your savings. You've started investing. You've taken control of your spending. You've built a system, and it's working. Now the question becomes, how do I keep this going for life? How do you stay on track, stay motivated, and continue growing without falling back into old habits? Well, here's the good news. Maintaining your financial system should feel boring. Yes, boring, because boring means stable. It means predictable. It means you're not constantly reacting, guessing, or stressing. And that is the key to long-term wealth. Let me explain. Most people approach money like a crash diet. They get excited. They try a bunch of hacks. They cut everything, save aggressively, track every penny. And then they burn out. They slip back into old habits. They give up, thinking, maybe I'm just bad with money. But you're not doing that. You're not crash saving. You're building a lifestyle, a system. And systems are meant to be maintained. Here's the first rule of maintenance. Review once a month. Not every day. You don't need to be glued to your bank app. You don't need to check your portfolio every morning. That creates anxiety, not clarity. Instead, pick one day each month. Put it in your calendar. Call it your money check-in. And during that time, ask, are all my bills getting paid? Are my investments going in? Do I need to update or adjust anything? 15 minutes. That's it. Then close the tab and go live your life. Second rule, grow with intention. Let's say you get a raise. Amazing. Most people instinctively raise their lifestyle with it. More takeout, fancier vacations, a newer car. Nothing wrong with that, if those things matter to you. But here's a smarter move. Split the raise. Take 50% of your raise and increase your savings, investments, or debt payments. Use the other 50% for guilt-free lifestyle upgrades. That way, you're enjoying your growth without letting lifestyle creep steal your future. Third rule, check in with your goals, not just your numbers. Remember those named savings accounts? Bali trip, Freedom Fund, new apartment. Open them. Look at the progress. Feel the excitement. Because money isn't just numbers. It's purpose, it's freedom. It's the ability to say yes to the life you really want. Now, let's talk setbacks. Because they'll happen. Unexpected expenses, market dips, lost income. It's part of life. But when you've got a system, setbacks don't break you. They're just adjustments. You pause auto savings temporarily. You dip into your buffer or emergency fund. Then, when things stabilize, you turn it all back on. No panic. No shame. Just grace and momentum. And here's something powerful. Revisit your rich life. What does it look like today? Has it changed since you started? Maybe now, your rich life includes a family. Maybe it means working less. Maybe it means early retirement, or just not worrying about bills anymore. Whatever it is, let your system evolve with you. Because you're not chasing money anymore. You're aligning it with who you are and who you're becoming. So what does maintenance look like in a nutshell? 1. Monthly money check-in automatic updates. When income changes, progress toward meaningful goals. A calm, consistent approach, and adjustments when life shifts. That's it. You don't need to hustle every day. You don't need to obsess. You just need to stay the course. Let me leave you with this. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. And the way you create lasting progress? You build a system. You automate it. You trust it. And you live your rich life. One calm, confident step at a time. This journey? It's not about being good with money, it's about being intentional. And now, you are. Chapter 10. Design the life money can't buy. So far, we've talked about systems. We've talked about automation, investing, saving, and spending with intention. But now I want to ask you a much bigger question. A question that money alone can't answer. What does a rich life actually look like for you? Because this journey, it was never just about credit cards, or bank accounts, or index funds. It was about building a life that feels full, free, authentic. A life where money isn't a constant source of stress, but a tool to design something meaningful. Now, I can't define that rich life for you, because a rich life is personal. For one person, it might be first-class travel and tasting menus. For another, it might be quiet mornings, paid-off debt, and time with family. For someone else, freedom to work 3 days a week, or take 6 months off to write a novel. There's no right answer, there's only your answer. And it starts by asking, what do I love? What lights me up? What am I tired of settling for? Honestly, most of us were raised with a completely different message. We were told to cut back, to be realistic, to live within our means, and never want too much. But I'm here to challenge that. Because if you've built the systems, if you've done the work, you don't have to live small. You can spend on things you love, guilt-free. You can say yes to experiences without checking your balance. You can design a life that looks completely different from anyone else's because it's yours. And here's something wild. The rich life doesn't begin after you hit a certain number. It begins the moment you decide to stop playing defense with your money and start playing offense. It begins when you say, I want more, not just more money, but more life in my life. More freedom, more joy, more choice. So how do you live a rich life? You follow the system. You automate the basics. You invest early and often. You spend consciously. You ditch guilt. And then, you lean fully into the things that matter most to you. You buy the good coffee. You upgrade your seat. You fly your parents out to visit. You pay for convenience, for time, for peace of mind. That's wealth. And you created it. Now let me say something you may not hear enough. You're allowed to enjoy your money. Not someday. Not when you're done, right now. Because your rich life isn't at the end of some finish line. It's woven into the choices you make today. And when your money supports the life you want, instead of limiting it, that's when you know. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. Let's bring it full circle. You've learned how to spend with confidence, save without stress, invest with clarity, and grow with peace of mind. You've silenced the guilt. You've rejected the myths. You've stopped waiting for someday. And you've started designing your rich life, right here, right now. So what comes next? Live it. Keep using your system. Keep checking in. Keep asking, is this the life I want? And adjusting with intention. Because this isn't just a money journey. It's a life journey. And the best part? You're in control now. And just like that, you've reached the end of Let's Make You Wealthy. This isn't really the end. This is just the beginning of your financial transformation. Because now, you're not confused. You're not stuck. You're not waiting for someday. You've got the plan. You've got the steps. You've got the mindset. And more importantly, you've got the power to start right now.